We already ready, buddy.
What's up, y'all? HTG Brian back live on HTGtv. Good to see everybody. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend. We hung out for a little bit yesterday, at least some of us did, playing some Lego Batman 3 for the first time, which was, well, for the second first time. And it was pretty sweet. It was nice getting through a couple of those levels. That one level was fairly long. I didn't think it was ever going to end. And I got so close to that true hero on a few of those. Hey, get out of here, Kurg! Yeah. God, always interrupt me. Like, bro's got it on a timer. I'm sure of it now. I'm sure of it. We'll see more of him tomorrow, and I'll get to yell at him plenty while we play Starship Troopers. But today, we've shifted gears from mostly clean Mondays hitting into the swamp. That's right, Shrek. We'll be back maybe later today or next week. But ultimately, this new DLC for the Halloween house dropped. And I figured we would check it out. Whoa. That was weird. All right, let's go ahead and say hey to the chat real quick. And let's jump into some game spray. You heard it. I didn't mess that up. Game spray. It's like gameplay, but instead I'm spraying. Don't boo me. We just started this stream. Early notification squad today was Chacho, Rob, and Paige. Thanks for being early, guys. Much love, much love. You know, normally this is the time of the day when I wake Reese up. Most days, and any days that he doesn't have to work, which he does have some really early days, especially over the summer when he works at the golf course. He's got to get up at like 5 in the morning. There hasn't been a lot of those days lately, though. Most of his classes are at like 12 or 2:30. So very late day stuff. And Call of Duty just came out, so he's been up really early because we've got internet restrictions. So he can't stay up all night and sleep all day. We've got it set so he can go to bed at like 1 o'clock is when the internet cuts off, and it comes back on at 6. So he's been basically going to bed at 1 and getting up at 6 every day. Today he slept in a little bit later, but normally when I'm like hollering out the early notification squad, that's usually when I wake him up and he's like, "Urgh," and then I can hear his door slam like, "Shut up, Dad," kind of a thing, you know. Anyways, that's what you get. You still living at home. You play by our rules. I remember my parents used to say that to me, so I got I got out of there as quickly as possible. All right, Matt's out there too. Preston Bros Unite. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see here. Did I drop the Twitter? Twitter! It's officially out in the Twitterverse. Let's see here. Raised is out there. What's up, Raised? Who else is out there? Who else is out there? Jason's out there. Kirsten's out there. Brian D is out there. What is up? What is up? What is up? So, yeah, there's lots of sports ball happening right now. Hockey is happening. Football is coming to an end-ish. Baseball is definitely on its last leg. Basketball's just getting ramped up too. My Blazers won their first game last night. Pretty exciting. We played the same team Friday and then yesterday, so 2 back-to-back games against the same team. You see that in baseball a lot. You never see that in basketball, except for last year. They started changing it, doing these back-to-backs. Every once in a while, they'd give you what they call the home, where like you'd play in their, like you'd go to their place and play a game, and then immediately the next game you'd play in your place, and they called those homes. But not often did you see teams travel to one area and play, because usually like the teams play each other 3 to 4 times. And usually it'd be one here and then they'd fly off. And Portland is so far away from everybody else. Like, you got like the California teams, was what, 3 of them. And then you got like the Texas teams, which is 3 of them. And, so a lot of the West teams are all kind of bundled up together. I mean, New York's got a couple teams. So anyways, Portland is all lonesome, all by yourself. We actually are the most traveled team every single year in the history of the NBA. Every year we have to travel the furthest because we're the furthest away from everybody. It's just always historically been that way, geographically been that way. But yeah, we finally got our first win. It felt really good. Really good. After losing a couple in a row. Tamara's out there. Grease Sama's out there. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Blaze Fire Rods is back. April is back too. What is up? Let's see here. Gonna save this level to play on Thursday. Nice. Yeah, I was really wanting to play it last week. I've been playing this with Gray off stream. Like that's kind of been our game of choice, just to chillax and it's actually not. It's actually really stressful. Let me explain something to you guys. He's not here yet, is he? Okay, good. He's not here yet. Don't tell him this. Don't share this with him. He'd be so mad if I shared this. Not really. He'd laugh at me and tell me to get something. So we've been playing this game, right? And at first he didn't like it. And then we played it together and he was like, "Oh, this is actually kind of fun. Like knowing, you're helping me find all these spots and do all these things." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool. And he's like, "You know what would make it better? Music." Bro sings every friggin' song that plays. It's become the most. Could you imagine Gray the Belgian singing? Like it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I don't want to expose him for some of the songs he's been listening to, but I've had to endure it, you guys. It's not been okay. It's. So just a minute ago, there was a tactic used called attempting to change the subject. You know how many times I've attempted to engage him in conversation to get him to stop singing, and he won't stop singing? And the worst part about it is, bro has his settings on the PlayStation turned off so that when I clip with the PlayStation, he can't be heard. You guys can hear him when we stream because his mic comes through and the stream allows that. But to clip on the PlayStation, it will not because he's got his settings turned off. Otherwise, I'd just be making shorts of his good singing. All right, rant over, but trust me. Trust me. You think my singing's bad? Oh my goodness. Gerg is out there. What up, dude? What up? John Bundy's out there. Football does not end. It's winding down though. That's you know what? They play once a week. Teams play once a week. That's such like an anticipation. I'm not trying to like hurt any feelings or anything. I don't want to get in a big but like I've mentioned, like baseball and golf are both like just like, oh my gosh, will something just happen? For the love of God, just something happen, right? And like basketball is like squeak, 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 squeak. I'll give you that one. But then you got football. It's like, all right, we won or we lost. Woohoo! We get to wait how many days till we play again? Like that's terrible. That's terrible. All right. Let's see here. Lego Rock. No, we do not. Trust me. You do not want Gray singing. He's going to show up and you guys are going to expose me. I can already tell. But the reality of it is that it's pretty, it's Graytastic. Hey, this looks familiar. It's almost like the thumbnail. All right, sorry. Got a little carried away there. Place looks a bit creepy right now, but fret not once you get going. So that's another thing. While we've been playing, Gray's been reading all of the little messages that pop up. If you guys remember, I didn't read any of them. I was just like, yeah, whatever, Bob, or whatever, Mag, shut up, Mag, whatever, like, Gray's been reading it, and he's so confused. But the funniest part about it is he'll read it to me, and I have no idea what he's talking about. And I think he's, like, literally just, like, talking to me, right? No, he's not. He's, like, reading stuff. I'm like, what are you flapping about, dude? He's like, oh, I don't know. If Gray sings, I will just leave right away. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's better. Probably silence, but Inside is much better. Don't have a sour sister spell to blame for that. Sour sister? Someone sounds like they need a shower. So yeah, it's kind of cool tonight. Not to keep talking sports. Man, I could talk sports all day, really. Even the ones that I don't really know, I could still flap about. But I don't know if I've mentioned this. I think I probably have. But the Blazers have a second-year player. His name is Chris Murray. And he has a twin brother that plays in the league as well named Keegan Murray. And Keegan plays for the Sacramento Kings, which is who we play tonight. So Chris and Keegan get to play against each other tonight. Often in the league, the last handful of years, most of the twins have played with each other more than they've played against each other. But there's been some of both. And it's pretty cool because, like, Keegan had a breakout rookie year and was, like, just shot the ball really well, and all his high expectations were made. And it actually helped his team be pretty good his first year. The second year last year was not as productive, so they're hoping he's going to be better this year. But on that same note, his brother Chris, who plays for us, has actually improved quite a bit too. So it's always fun because the coach, the other team always plays their Murray, always. Like, he's part of their starting rotation. Our Murray doesn't always play. Like, last year, he was somebody that didn't play unless people were hurt, right? And then once the season became what it was, he played a little more because people were hurt. But the coach always made sure to put him in when his brother was in so they could play against each other. I'm sure it was some sort of an agreement like, hey, you want to play against your brother? And he's probably like, heck yeah. So, you know, like, but I think that's really cool, right? Like, getting to play against your brother. And I mean, there's the whole LeBron and his son thing, too, that we talked about the other day. I know not everybody loves basketball and all that, but you got to admit, that's pretty epic. I mean, in the history of sports, I believe it's only been done one other time, and it was baseball, and the Griffey's junior and senior, and that was in the 90s. That was in the 90s, so that was like forever ago too. So to have another moment like that in professional sports it's pretty epic. I haven't always been a LeBron fan. I enjoy him now later in his career. I appreciate him and what he's doing at his age a little bit more. But, like, that right there, I don't know if that'll ever be done again in basketball. You know, you got to start so young and play for so long. And, you know, there's a lot of people that start young. There's a lot of people that play long, but not all those boxes have gotten checked. Meow. Chiefs are 7-0. Zang. That must feel pretty good. I was telling Kirsten this morning about, you know, I'm used to the Blazers being good. Like, when I grew up, they were good. They were in the playoffs a lot. They went to the Western Conference Finals. They had a really good team. They were good. And then, like, in my mid-teens to early 20s, you know, I got majorly distracted. I got removed from my place in Portland and moved out to the country and state in Oregon, and didn't really have a lot of access to Blazer games. My grandparents didn't have cable, and so I could watch what I could only watch. And after a couple months of not really being able to watch much, I became less and less of an everyday viewer. And so for a handful of years, I kind of wasn't watching. I mean, I'd follow here and read the paper there and whatever, but I wasn't really a huge fan. And they kind of got mediocre in that time, and then they got good again, and that's when Reese was born, and I really started hunkering down and watching more, and they were really good for 8 years in a row. They made it to the playoffs. That's pretty tough for an NBA team. So I've been, like, really used to them being pretty good for a while, and then they got Damian Lillard and all. And now they don't have Damian Lillard, and they got a different coach, and they're the youngest team in the league, and I mean, they're really expected to be pretty bad. I think they're already better than the expectation, but I don't think they're a whole lot better. I don't know. I think they'll win more games this year than they did last year, but it's tough. It's tough when you root for a team that just, you know, your whole life you've been used to one way. Like the Oregon Ducks football. has been that way too, where like they've been really good for a long time, and there was a slump for like 5 years, 6 years, where they were just not very good, and they weren't terrible, but they weren't as good. Now they're what, like 7-0, 8-0, or something like that. And no, okay, just to clarify things, ads are not set. Ads cannot be set at intervals less than 8 minutes. If you're seeing ads more than that, it's either A, because of an error, B, because you're using a multitask option and leaving the app or leaving the page or leaving something and returning, or I don't know, maybe a third mystery. We'll give it a spot, but I don't know what it is. But it's not, I can't set the ads. In fact, I've got them set to balance like I always do. But if you leave the app at all, if you minimize it, if you come back, there's a lot of ways that'll trigger an ad. But just sitting there watching, it should not. If it is, then you should report it to YouTube, because that's annoying. But if you've left the app at all, like Kirsten found out last week, I don't remember exactly what it is, but she was like going into multitask mode, I think she called it. I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know if that's like the actual technical term or if just, you know, just an explanation of what it was. But yeah, multitask, she says. So yeah. So if you're using multitask or any kind of, you know, like I said, if you're changing it, if you're watching on a TV, I mean, and you're not changing anything, then yeah, I can't tell you. They're set at balance. I've never been one to overplay ads. I've always tried to minimize and keep it fresh and easy to use. So again, I apologize, but there's very little I can do about it. And, you know, it seems to be sort of isolated because, like, we had Kirsten have it happening, but nobody else really was last week. But, you know, and I currently don't have it up. In fact, here, let's try this. Is this working today? I usually have my second account up so I can gift memberships. And I never see ads run on Edge. And I don't know if that's like Microsoft Edge doesn't support YouTube ads or something, but gifted 5 members. Okay, we got at least one. We got Hayes Calloway. We got Hayes Calloway. Wonder, let's see here. We've started with 127. And it still shows 127. So, I mean, it definitely could be a YouTube error on some level. You know, I probably should have looked. I'm sure there isn't. But there's no trophy for this level, right, Chacho? Because it's DLC. Free DLC, that is. Oh, and by the way, you guys want to see something wacky? All right, I'm going to show you guys something wacky. Let me finish this up real quick. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do. Look at this. Not done. Not done. When stuff's done, it'll show. I'm not gonna mess with any of that. I don't want to mess with. It shows done, like bonus jobs, like cleaned. It should say cleaned, but it's not. And you guys remember this happened last year too, where I had done Santa's Workshop, and then all of a sudden Santa's Workshop. So maybe they reset them, but I feel like there's some sort of an error with the saving. Because I did the deck too, and it's showing that it's not cleaned. Right? Like, that's kind of messed up. You have not done this one yet. Oh. So you're saying I'm better at this game than you? Cool. Just kidding, Chacho. Just kidding. Just because somebody's done something before somebody else doesn't make them better at it. Even though I likely am better. I'm just kidding. I'm just razzing you, bruh. Just razzing. Anybody doing anything for Halloween? Anybody dressing up? My wife and I will be getting costumes, but they won't be worn on Halloween. And no, I'm not like alluding to like naughty business or anything either. So let's just clear that up right now. I don't really want to talk about it too much, but just know that you will see it at some point, and it'll be pretty epic. Pretty epic. I think I've already mentioned it once or twice, so if you know, you know, but yeah, basically the plan right now is we're waiting for Halloween to happen, and then we're gonna buy some costumes. We're hoping they'll go on sale, right? Like discount. My only real worry is that they're gonna be sold out. That's my only real worry. I haven't checked to see what like the stock is. You know, a lot of websites create urgency by by making a false statement like only 3 items left, hurry up and purchase, when really there's probably unlimited stock or whatever available. And that's not always the case. Sometimes they really do have accurate inventories, but I've noticed on a lot of sites, especially the ones that are like, Joe from Tennessee just bought this shirt. Oh, Bob from this just bought this shirt, right? Like those ones seem to always, the automated, I just feel like they're really busy and they're trying to create like this sense of like, if you don't hurry up and spend your money right now, there's not going to be money to be able to spend. And I'm not going around with the inventory police checking, but I feel like those are always, same with those like penny sites, the penny bid sites. I feel like in a lot of cases there is automated bids that show up that'll outbid you to get the prices up to encourage more. And that's the one thing you'll never know. You'll never know, even on eBay. Like, did the person that just outbid me, was it the system or was it a person? Was the system driving up money because they get potential sales, right? Or the more people sell, the more, you know, that's something I'll always wonder. That's one thing I hate about online purchasing. And like all this pre-order stuff, you know what else really grinds my gears while we're at it? When you pre-order something in like July, but it's not coming out till like December, and they like immediately charge you, but then silently charge you back so that you haven't really paid. They just really check to see if you can afford it. And they're like, oh yeah, cool, he can afford it. Let's go ahead and get that money back because we're really not taking their money until the pre-orders ship. And then in December, months later, when you're not expecting a huge chunk of a pre-order, it comes out of your... I hate that. Like, why do they do that? I mean, I understand the concept of like, hey, it's their money, they shouldn't have to pay until... But if they're like willingly pre-ordering, knowing that, oh, it's so frustrating. More often than not, in my pre-orders, I've been seeing that happen lately. You know, I ordered that Doom figure a while back. They took money out, and I'm 99.9% sure they put money back. So now in like November or whenever it ships, this next month, or December, whenever it is, I'm going to get hit with that. Which is also like the worst time of the year to get hit with an unexpected giant. I mean, it's like $350 or something like that. You know, right when you least expect it. All the holiday gifts are coming out. We've done a lot of our shopping. We were talking about it the other day. Reese has made out like a bandit this year because as the year's gone on, you know, Jillian has always been a stickler about, let's buy him this and make him wait. Like okay. This is some advice for any parent out there, okay? If you want to buy your kid or nephew, friends, whoever, a game, and you buy it right around the release date, which could be like June, July, August, September, November, right? And you make them wait till December to get it, that is one of the meanest things you could do on the planet. Especially like games like Call of Duty or Battlefield, or the big games that are yearly, NBA 2K, the big games that are yearly, because so many people are getting so far ahead and getting to experience the stuff. It's so unfair. So like we used to buy, like Jillian would try to buy Call of Duty like in November for Reese and then like keep it till Christmas, and I'd be like, no, give it to him now. You could tell him it's an early Christmas present or whatever you need to tell him to make it okay, but give it to him now. Don't make him wait. Ads every 5 minutes and not doing anything. I'm telling you, I can take screenshots. Balanced. Let YouTube insert mid-rolls. YouTube determine which ad formats are best for your live stream and when ads appear. Your viewers may not see ads at the same time. You will be able to manually insert ads during the stream. This option can help you earn the most revenue. I'm not clicking any buttons, I promise you. Let me see. Let me try one other thing. So it does look like okay, so check this out. This is really interesting. So when you upload a video and it's shorter than 8 minutes, it actually gives you a big red flag when you're trying to monetize, and it says, sorry, pal, you can't do it. It's not more than 8 minutes long. You cannot run mid-roll ads. You can't roll end ads. You can only run front side ads. I don't remember what they call it. Premiere ads or something. It actually allows me to set a frequency. It's frequencies. It's intervals of 6 minutes. So I've got 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. And let's see here. If I go 12, which is going to chop everything. And it says I can insert mid-roll ads, place ads during specific moments of your live stream. What up, Justin? I see you sliding in. All right, so I've set it to 12 minutes now. We'll see how that goes. And just out of curiosity, let me see. Tamara, have you stated? I'm looking back through comments. How are you viewing? Are you on an iPad? Are you on a tablet, an Android tablet? Are you on a TV? Are you on a computer, a PC, laptop? Like, I don't need to know like every spec of everything, but I'm just curious. Android phone. Okay, I was gonna say, I wonder if it's something specifically on like an Apple update or something, but we've got conflict because Kirsten had it on her iPhone the other day, or iPad, or Apple device, and now we're getting it on Android. So I've set it to 12. Let me know. I've also set it so that viewers should get them at different times. So I listen. It's all. I've never done it this way before. You guys let me know if that's a better or worser experience. And yeah, premium. I think we talked about this the other day, is definitely another option for those who are really, but I mean, you shouldn't have to pay to avoid, but I think, that's kind of the consensus. Like, it's what they want. They maybe that's why they're running them so frequently. They're like, if we run enough ads, maybe we'll drive them crazy and they will go and, right? Like, maybe they'll go and get premium. We'll up our premium subscriptions. I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I want the feedback though, because I want to know. I don't want it to be like an ad fest. I mean, at the end of the day, the more ads that get consumed, the better it benefits, you know, me financially. But that's not what I'm about. I just, in fact, I watched a video this morning of some disgusting behavior. And I just was thinking to myself, like, I can't imagine even thinking like this, let alone acting like this. And it was a streamer, and he was trying to enforce or encourage a three member donation per stream. So like, if he was basically saying, if you visit my stream, I expect you to donate a minimum of 3 memberships. And it was on a different platform, and so I don't know what the dollar values are. You know, could have been 99 cents, could have been $5, could have been $25. I have no idea how much it was. But he's literally talking to his chat. He's not playing a game or doing anything at the time of this. I don't know any history about him. He may have a gajillion followers. He may have 5 followers. I don't know any history other than this video is being passed around on Twitter because they're basically trying to shut him down for his toxic, disgusting, ungrateful behavior. And like, so like one of his peoples donates a membership, right? Donates a membership. And he goes, 1, bro? Get out of here with that. 1 membership, bro. You should be donating a minimum of 3 per stream. And he like starts to like go off, and like, he's like, and the guy is defending himself. He's like, hey, bro, I'm sorry. I'm at work right now. I only have $1 to donate. And he's like, all right, I only had one donation available. He's like, I got to eat, bro. I you know, and the guy goes, all right, let's stop. Didn't you just say you were at work? Bro, quit playing. You got money. You got money. He's like, I've got this PC goal up here on the top of my screen for a reason, and I'm not going to get this PC without y'all's money. So y'all need to step it up and start donating more. I'm not kidding when I say this. Like, I'm watching this going, this has got to be a skit. This has got to be a skit. This has got to be a skit. And it's not a skit. And he continues to go on, and he basically bullies this guy into giving him another membership. And this time it pops up with 5 memberships. And instead of going, thank you, he goes, finally, and he goes, that's more like it. That's more like it. And the guy goes, now you got my ramen money, bro. I don't even have money for lunch now. And the streamer starts going, F your ramen, blah, blah, blah. How am I going to get my PC? I can't even believe people are like, I would leave. Why are people staying for that? Why? I just don't like, I know that the whole statement of like nice guys finish last has always kind of been like an ongoing joke / thing. And, you know, I haven't always been a nice guy, but in my later years, I've tried to be a nicer human. I've tried to give back. I've tried to support those around me. I've tried to help out those in need. You know, I've tried to be the better person in situations. Like, I've tried to do these things that I've known I should have done as a younger person that I avoided or found pride in not doing. And I've tried to do better. And, you know, when I see stuff like that, I just can't even... It's gross is what it is. And like, I just listen, if the only way you can get your fame and money is by trashing, disrespecting, bullying people, then I don't want that path, you know. Like, I don't make a lot of money, as I've talked about before. Like, I don't. And here soon, I may even share some like financial stuff with how much HTG makes and blah, blah, blah. HTGtv, we'll say specifically, just to give an idea. And like, hopefully soon, Kirsten will get a taste of the monetization and get some money going. But she'll see too that like, it's, you know, just because you get monetized and you got some videos doesn't make you rich. And, you know, streaming is a tougher area too, because not a lot of people watch old streams. Not religiously, not organically. I know a lot of you have been watching a lot of our older stuff, really helping, trying to get that watch hours up and stuff. But I mean, you know, historically, we don't, at least I don't, on either of the channels, see a lot of old streams getting picked up. Now, my guide videos consistently get lots of views because of the fact that they're structured to help, and a lot of them are, in a way, kind of timeless. But, you know, I just can't imagine, like, you guys know I don't stress a lot. I'm not out there going, give me, like, if you can, awesome, greatly appreciated, but none of it's an expectation. This dude was like, give me your money or get out of my stream. And that is so crazy to me. Like, I mean, I do understand, like, the theory of, like, I'm working, so I should get paid, but, like, it doesn't work that way in streaming. Like, when you go to a job that you've applied for and been hired for, yes, it works that way. You get paid for your time. Sometimes regardless of the effort you're putting in, sometimes only based on the effort you're putting in, but that's up to that particular job. But just because you put the effort and made a video or push live doesn't give you the right to bully. And, like, that's just such a crazy way to do things. Like, and I hope bro gets exposed in a way that betters him. Like, I don't want to see him get canceled and then, like, move on to some other shady behavior somewhere else. Like I hope that he gets, like, a newfound respect for his people that support him, you know, because I mean, if everybody just canceled membership and left because of that, you know, but we live in a world right now that, like, that type of behavior, lying and deceit and misinformation, is like the where all the clicks are, where all the money's at. Like, it's so weird to me right now. I'm hoping we get a big shift soon, and I hope it's not like a forced shift. You know, like, I hope it's you know, there's a channel that I think has a great moniker, or slogan. Logan. And it's Smile More. You guys have heard me talk about him before. He's a pretty famous creator. He does stuff. Most of his stuff is to make people laugh. He does some pranks and stuff sometimes, but now he's more of like a podcaster, and he has sort of recently got political too, which, you know, anybody who has a voice has that option to become a voice for whatever they stand for, and that's, you know, a choice that people can make. But as you guys know, I try to stand neutral on most things like that. Unless it's the Dodgers versus the Yankees. Go Dodgers! No, I'm just kidding, Chacho. I'm just kidding. You want to see me rile up a Chacho in 0 to 3 seconds? No, yeah. It's, is it the Smile Squad? I don't know. Smile More. Roman Atwood is who I'm talking about. I don't know about the Smile Squad, maybe. I used to watch him a little bit back in the day when Reese was younger. That's how I found out about him. Reese watched some of his videos, and you know, but that was back in the early days of, like, the early days. That was back when Dan TDM was, like, a really big entity. He may still be. I don't hear anything about Dan at all. I know he had a kid or two and all that, but, like, you know, there's a couple of them. Who was the other one? Most of them were Minecraft, right? Like, the Minecraft was really popular, and I think it still is. I just, for some reason, you know, Reese doesn't play it anymore. It's not coming through his feeds, and I'm not sitting over his shoulder, you know, making him lunch and hanging out with him as a kid anymore, like I used to. He used to watch a lot of stuff on the TV, and so I'd sit there and watch it with him, but. And that's been years ago now. But I mean, I follow Roman on Twitter, so I see a lot of his stuff. But yeah, like I said, he's become a little bit more political. But I like his whole concept of, like, smile more. You know what I mean? Like, I even put smiles in the social feeds today. Come start the week off with some smiles. It makes so much more sense. I read somewhere or heard somewhere, like, it takes, like, 10 times the muscles to frown than it does to smile, or something like that. I don't remember what the exact science on it is, but, like, that alone should tell you, like, stop being so angry all the time. Stop looking for things to complain about. That's another thing. Like, my Blazer fan group, doesn't matter if we win by 100 or lose by 100. There's always the same 8 people that'll have some new complaint. Like they're never satisfied. And you know, I know that there's like reporters and such that are literally like hired to create conversation, which often is drama, right? Like, you know, they'll talk about how this player was really bad or this coach made a bad choice, or you know, they'll sort of pick the negative points to get, you know, the pot stirred up and to get people brewed up and fired up and clicking on their stuff. And I get that, but like people, you know, I won't mention any names, but I know somebody who does not stream and talks to his friends all the time, and he refers to them as the chat. And I was like, do they like being called the chat? Because like you're not. That's weird. That's weird. But you know, I guess people do different things for different reasons. So, yeah. What up, Denise? Maybe he should get a real... I agree, April. I totally agree. Yeah, like, I wasn't familiar with this person. I'd never seen them before. So, like I said, I don't know if this is standard behavior. I don't know if this was a bit trying to get, you know, notice. Like, you know, there's things that one can do to sort of, like, go viral or get attention, you know, and then like I mean like look at the Haley Welch girl, the Hawk Tua girl, you know, like turned out to be a really down-to-earth, pretty sweet person. At least that's the persona we're getting now, after what seemed to be a really crude and, you know, almost unhinged response to a random question on the street. But like, you know, turns out maybe she's a decent. Sounds like she's got some learning to do. She was confusing some pretty famous people in a clip I saw the other day, but you know, nobody's perfect. Like I said, as somebody who used to not be very positive and always would find the negative, and you know, I dwelled on a lot of things that could be that weren't, if that makes sense. And you know, I'm sure it drove my parents absolutely insane. Like I'm surprised they even speak to me anymore after some of the theories and thoughts that I used to have. You know, I was never destructive physically or even mentally, really. You know, but I'm sure I was exhausting. Just what I thought was witty banter or smart aleck remarks, you know, comments, statements about things, and but you know, we all grow up. Most of us grow up. Some of us grow up. Yeah, I agree. Middle age does change the flow, you know. And for what it's worth, I mean, I did not have fun when I was younger. I like adrenaline type scenarios, you know, racing and things like that. And you know, as a youngster, I made some pretty awful decisions that were adrenaline based decisions, and you know, most of those I look back and go, how could I have ever even thought that was okay, let alone do it? So it's interesting, but then I see, like, I got friends that are my age or even older than me that are still out there dressing the same, doing the same. I'm like, bro, give it up. Like, you're 48 years old. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know. And it's funny because I always like thought I was gonna be one of those like diehard, like I'm never gonna change, blah blah blah, you know. Like I did, I really did. And here I am. I blame Jillian. I don't know if that's how that works, but I'm blaming her. I learned it by watching her. Oh, my wife's an amazing person. Like, the amount of dysfunction there is in today's society, and like the school systems, and you know, all sorts of things surrounding that. Like she is like the light at the end of the tunnel for so many scenarios and people, and like I'm super proud to say that. Like, you know, not a ton of money, but a fair amount of money every month goes to, you know, food for certain, you know, students and people that don't have, and clothes, and like we've sponsored a lot of kids over the years, and we'll continue to. My wife's like, we need to remodel our house so we can have more room so we can foster children. I'm like, what? What are we doing? And I'm sure it's inevitable that, you know, at some point in the next handful of years that something like that will probably happen. But we'll see. Again, I just like the whole concept of spreading happiness and positivity at a time that needs it. Isn't it odd how imminent arrival of visitors seems to add a thick layer of dirt to every surface? Yeah, people are messy. That's for sure. Sure, the bedroom looked fine. Yeah, this is a bedroom. I'm not sure I'm comfortable cleaning a witch's bedroom. Better do a good job. She might put some sort of a vex on you. All right, it's got to be on the undersides. Yep, there we go. Does this have trophies? No, there's just a single level. Single seasonal level, much like the cruise ship or Santa's shop. Just a holiday-themed bonus. Anybody else's extras just not clean anymore? Like, you like clean them, and then like you clean some other stuff, and you get an update, and then it's like not clean anymore. I'm just curious, is that like a reset they do for the season, or? Because I mean, I just did that cruise ship like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, and it's already showing not done. And we know we did Santa's shop. In fact, I feel like I did it twice. It happened to you too. Okay, so it's not specific to me. Okay. Yeah, I think I mentioned this in the chat earlier. I'm wondering, I haven't spoke to the wife yet today, but I'm hoping she slept well. Because it was fairly early. We had this discussion about watching some movies, and we had a couple movies we wanted to watch, and so I suggested we watch them, and she's like, all right, cool. And at the time, we had lots of time to, you know, watch them both, and maybe watch like a comedy show or something afterwards to kind of get the mind changed from the scary factor. Because we watched the 4:30 movie, and then which is a Kevin Smith flick, and then we watched Alien Romulus again. You know, we went and saw it in the theater a couple months back, and it's now available at home, so I wanted to watch it again. And she was like, all right, I guess. And she's like, I'm gonna have nightmares. And I was like, well, then let's not do it. She's like, no, it's fine, we'll have time to watch them. Well, between the dog and dinner and various factors throughout the night, we had to pause it a bunch, and we ended up, it was actually kind of late when we turned it up, so we didn't watch anything else. We finished with Alien Romulus and went and brushed our teeth. I took Drex out, went to bed, and by the time I get back with Drex from going out, Jillian's always asleep. Because she'll race down the stairs and brush her teeth real quick, and she comes up, because like she states that I will talk to her all night long and keep her up. which is a believable statement. I'll give her that. But that's not at all what happens. Like, if she's sitting up in the chair or doing stuff, you know, not laying in bed asleep, then I will talk to her. But if she's in bed asleep, I'll let her go to sleep. And anyways, she ran, got in bed, and was out before I got back with the Drex. And I'm curious to see how her night went. I mean, Romulus isn't super scary, but there's like this, there's a particular ending situation, we'll call it, that does sort of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's messed up. I'll say that much. It's messed up. Like I don't know, but there's a couple of things in that movie that I'm like, I feel like the director's a little bit of a perv. I won't go into detail, but like, there's some stuff that was like, am I the only one that's seeing this? And Jillian's like, nah, I see it too. And I'm like, okay, good. I was starting to worry I was a little bit of a perv. Is Raised okay? Yeah. Last I heard. It has been a minute since she's typed in the chat, though. She did say that she had another rough night of no sleep last night, so she may have, I may have lulled her to sleep with my nasally drone. She may be stuck in an ad parallel where she just like has done nothing but watch ads. I mean, there's a few possibilities. But yes, as far as I know, other than being tired and the normal, you know, flim flam, that she's okay. But I don't have a like a last 20-minute update, that's for sure. You know, now that I think about it, I feel like there was some cleaners that I could use on this level. I'll have to bust them out on the house because I've got most of, oh, I'm only 24% done. I think once I get this house rolling, it's going to go a lot faster. I can already tell. Just that's how this game sort of works. Like, all the small stuff is like, you know, percent here, 0.5% there, blah, blah. But eventually, you start getting to those big flat surfaces like roofs and walls, and it starts ringing off. All right. Hey. The one person I am wondering about is Gray, actually. I haven't heard from him in about 2 days, which is... I haven't got, like, a Facebook notification or anything. Now, you know, he did say he was going to a party on Saturday. Potentially going to. They have these, like, work things. And when he first explained it to me, I was like, hard pass. You know, like, not interested. I wouldn't expect him or anybody, but then like he started explaining it and like it actually sounded all right, and I don't know if he was gonna go or not. Basically they do them like every 3rd week or something, but they were gonna have one this weekend, I think, and then maybe next weekend too. They were like sort of out of sorts on their timing or something, but hopefully everything's all right with him. He may have just partied too hard. We've just been playing PowerWash, like I mentioned, and we also got Call of Duty, and we were going to play some Call of Duty over the weekend, but ended up not happening. I sent him a message yesterday, and I sort of baited him into a song lyric, thinking he would respond back. It was one of the songs he was singing while we were listening to or playing PowerWash the other day. But he hasn't responded, not even today. I expect a first in the chat here at some point soon, though. Ring. Yo, message him here at the break or whatever and just see if I can give him the old... Because, you know, Discord always messages him, and he's always like, oh, what is this? He can't resist the whistle. Oh. You're getting ads every 5 minutes. That's weird. Yeah, I've already made the one change I could make, so I think your timing may seem free. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Sometimes it can seem like it's a lot when it's not as much as it is, or sometimes it really is. Like I said, I changed it to 12 minutes. And I mean, in all fairness to you, you guys have had like 3.5, 4 months of no ads. So yeah, a little bit of catch up happening here maybe too, right? Like, I mean, that's not how the system's working, but I mean, actually, physically speaking, you guys have had, I mean, a few 100 hours straight of no ads. Like, right? I'm not trying to say that every 5 seconds is good. I'm just saying, like, come on. Like, you've had like a 3.5, 4 month break. Hopefully we'll get it sorted in the next week or two as things continue to evolve, change, progress. Like I said, I've got it at 12-minute intervals, so why 5 minutes? That doesn't make any sense. Now, there may be some sort of theory, too, or methodology that is like, you know, maybe it's supposed to give you every 12 minutes, and maybe you'll go like 35 minutes without one, and then you'll get like 3 in a row or something. I've made the change that I think would benefit you guys. If I could switch it back if it's gotten worse. But I mean, I don't have unlimited control. And unfortunately, we've all worked really hard to get that back, so I don't want to like turn it off, because that also affects, you know, me. I mean, I'd probably have to find different methods. I'd probably have to stop streaming. If I had to go no ads to make it convenient, then I'd probably have to do like uploads and do like daily uploads or something instead, where those are a little bit more controllable. Like, I can set literally what time the ad happens. Now, I can do that in streams too, but not until after the stream is processed. But once the video is processed, I can literally, you know, with a 6 minute, I guess. I thought it was 8 minute, but I found out today it might be 6 minute intervals. And that might be it too. It's trying to force you into premium. It's basically treating you like that streamer I mentioned earlier. Come on, bro. You got more. You got more. I know you got more. You work, you got more. Like, those were literally words coming out of his mouth. Like, you can do better. Like, oh my gosh. Like, what? And again, I don't know what he does. Maybe he like provides like cooking streams and like teaches people how to cook delicious culinary foods, or he looked like, I don't want to say what I really think, but he looked like somebody who was very ungrateful and didn't realize what he had going on. That's what he looked like to me. You know, pretty standard streamer setup. And again, I have no idea who he is. Not trying to hate or draw any attention to him, other than I could not believe that people actually talk and act that way. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Some people are working 2, 3 jobs to make ends meet. So I get it. Technically, I have 2 jobs. And I'm not talking about HTG and HTGtv. You know, I do web and graphic design too. Not nearly as much as I used to. And I don't really market myself in that aspect anymore. Like, I definitely am available to previous clients and people who know me for certain specific jobs. But, I mean, not really on the clock anymore. I mean, I do have a client that I still do monthly jobs for, but beyond that one specific client, I have, like I said, a couple others that hit me up, every year or every 6 months, and they need a refresh or an update to their websites or stuff like that. And I enjoy building websites, to an extent. Certain people are easier to build for than others. I definitely prefer the jobs that are like, hey, whatever you think's gonna work, I like. I'm like, okay. The ones I don't like are like, you know what? You're the expert. You make it happen. And then I make it happen. And they're like, hey, can we add this functionality and do this and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you never said any of that to begin with. You just said, make it happen. That's the ones I don't like. But I mean, it is part of the job. Uh-oh, message held for review. I do not see a message held for review. Must have been already approved. I see it now. That was weird. It was delayed. Like, YouTube's delaying messages for me too. I noticed on my alt account as well, like it will like not feed me any of the updated chat until I move the mouse or scroll up, and it's like something's going on. I don't know if they're trying to, like, I don't know, improve efficiency with loads or like slowing loads or like what's happening, but it seems like there's been a lot of change on the platform in the last couple of weeks. What was it, the other day, Friday, I hit go and it took it like 45 seconds for it to actually register and start streaming. It showed the connection was there, showed it was excellent, but it would not let me go live. It would not let me actually hit the go button. And this morning I launched the page and it crashed, but the page was there. It just crashed for me. It said, error, try again later. I was like, no, how about you refresh the page? And I refreshed the page and it was there, but I had to load into it, which then took like 40 seconds as well. So I've been noticing some issues. And maybe it's because I've been hating on it. Maybe it's because I've been saying they hate me. I don't know if the system listens or not, but oh yeah, I was gonna use some what do I got? What do I got? What do I got? Stone cleaner and wood cleaner. Alright. Am I on stone? Yeah, yeah. Drip, drop, drip. Oh, that dripping made me thirsty. I don't know if this is faster or not. I mean, it's getting a lot, but it leaves those little bits behind too, right? Like, I feel like I feel like that's better. Right? I mean, it might do a little wider, but again, you have to hit it a couple of 2-3 times, so I don't know. I feel like yellow for the win. Can I? Oh, triple ready's available. I didn't think you could use the triple ready on the big guys. On the seasonal things. Guess it was just the Muckingham, huh? Though that's not as wide either. Yeah, I don't know. Gray's been using this guy a fair amount, and he says he likes this one. I mean, I don't know what the best one is. I've always leaned on yellow. Gray uses yellow too, but not as much. Like, I think he uses the that white one. He says he uses this one a lot too, and I'm like, what? That one barely does anything. But he says it's good. I don't find it to be as good. It's definitely wider. And at the end of the day, they're probably all about the same. It's probably all like just a joke. The developers probably laugh. They're probably like, it takes the same amount of time to clean the surface regardless of which tip you use because of how we programmed it. Because with this one, you have to go over it more, but you're doing a wider surface, which in replacement here, you're doing a smaller, but you don't have to go over it as much, right? So you're not covering as much ground, but you're not having to repeat the ground you covered. They probably end up being the exact same. And the triple ready, it's like, it's really good and it shreds, but it has such a really tight, spray pattern that I feel like, the yellow has a wider pattern and does almost the same damage. Probably not as much, but it's wider, so you don't have to spend as much time coloring the area, right? So well, that might be why you're getting ads. If your stream is freezing and you're having to reload the page, that would be a trigger point for sure. I know you're just trying to watch, but if that's what's happening, that would explain the frequency of ads for sure. And I mean, that sucks that the page isn't loading. I would close the app altogether and close the whatever TV or tablet or whatever it is you're viewing, and that would be my suggestion. Doesn't mean it'll fix it. But oftentimes, a restart can and will fix the situation. If it's a glitch. So this is taking me a little longer than I anticipated. Kirsten, did you see my novel I wrote you on Discord? I know we had some exchange back and forth this morning, but then I sort of left you with a giant, I don't know if I'd call it a game plan or a concept of a plan, if you will. Like, that's about what it is. Some information. I had already mentioned this a week or two ago, although the subject has changed a little bit. It's still a thing. Yeah, I'm just trying to make things work for everything, right? You'll see when you read it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how you feel about like the time. I mean, I said 10 to 12 as like not sure what you're doing or when you're going, because you kind of been. I don't want to say unpredictable, but that's probably the best word to use as far as time goes. You know, and preferably, I you know, wouldn't mind. Again, I have no idea how long that's going to take me. You know, if it takes me 2, great, done, move on, all you. If it takes me 4, you know, that's where. So like, I kind of wanted your feedback on what you thought you might have planned too. Because if you don't have a plan, then I'll help you make it. If you do have a plan, then I'll help make it happen. Right? So like, either way, I'm here to help. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be flexible on that so that, like, you know, no matter what, at like 2, I'll be done. But it could be earlier, and if it's earlier, then you just piggyback onto that? Is that a decent plan? Or do you want a set time? Like, there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. I'm encroaching, so, and I know that. And I know it's on the early and the late side of it, too, because the game breaks at 5. Speaking of which, game break Thursday, 5 o'clock Pacific. Hope to see you there. Loiner, what's up? This DLC does not have trophies. All the free DLC lacks trophies. Well, I guess maybe that's not the best way to put it, because I think the 40K had trophies. Maybe. I don't remember. I feel like 40K cost money. I can't remember which ones were free and which ones were not. Pretty sure the Tomb Raider one cost money too, but it did, and it did have trophies. Didn't it? It's been a while since I played the Tomb Raider. I'll have to retract that statement. Yeah, boy. Alright, so I need to find a way to get up on top of here. I know there's a ladder, and I know there's scaffolding too. Scaffolding might be kind of a tight fit. But I guess we can... Come on. Really? Is it really? Yeah! Well, and you know, people don't need to hang in the premiere page for the game break. They can hang and watch you until stream starts too. Hey! I almost fell off. Shrek, Alice, 140, SpongeBob, computer, all cost money. There we go. That's exactly what I said. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. So I feel like all the ones that are paid have trophies. All of the free ones do not. Pretty sure that's their standard procedure on that stuff. You guys excited for Starship Troopers tomorrow? The game was quite fun, I thought. Shower Simulator tomorrow. Oh boy. That was good timing. That was good timing. I was just asking if everybody was excited for Starship Troopers. I heard Gerg played a little bit of solo. I don't know how true that is. Gray tried to expose him and say that he was playing without me. It was funny. He was like tattling on him, like, I saw Gerg playing without you guys. And I was like, oh, cool. He's like, oh, you're okay with it? I was like, yeah, in fact, I encouraged him to check out the single player stuff to see what it was all about. He was like, oh, well, yeah, he was definitely checking it out. I was like, all right, cool. Well, he'll have some answers for us then. I was like, I hope it doesn't affect his level too much. And if it does, I hope it affects us positively and not negatively. Like, I hope that if he's played a bunch and he's like a level 60 now, and we're only level 15s or whatever we were, that I hope the bad guys aren't level 60s too. I hope he just destroys all the, you know what I mean? That's like my only worry. Alright, did I get the top? Top is done, alright. Gonna say that's gotta be close. I feel like I'm missing something there, but I guess I'm not. It does kind of have that curly Q witch hat feel to it, doesn't it, Brian D? You know, Black Ops 6 has a fair amount to offer, and it's kind of cool because it's not all the same for everybody. Like Reese, he has not played the campaign yet, and he's played pretty much nothing but zombies. He's a zombie freak. He loves that stuff. He's beat quite a few of the Easter eggs with friends. He's soloed a couple of them as well. And, you know, just trying to be out there proving that he's one of the better zombie players out there. However, he played one game of multiplayer last night and hated it. Said that people were cheating and all sorts of stuff, which I have seen people cheating online. Not personally, but I've seen videos of people getting busted and clear aimbotting so I do understand that aspect of it too. But it's just funny how, you know, I've enjoyed it for completely different reasons than he has, because I've done nothing but play multiplayer and I've enjoyed it. And I'm sure I've run into a couple of cheaters, but you know, like I was telling Gray and like I was trying to explain to Reese, like, you know, you got to play the game for what it is. You can't take it too serious. It's never fun to spawn and die, spawn and die, spawn and die. But if you're out there getting a kill and then, you know, try not to let it get to you. And like, there's times that you die unrealistically or whatever, and it's kind of shocking. But there's also a lot of like deaths that probably could have been avoided based on how your interaction with the game is, right? Like, you just run out there and, oh my God, I got shot again. It's one thing when you take one step from spawn and you're getting spawn camped. That sucks. But like, if you're running out into where there's chaos and you're not watching your corners and you get shot from the corners, like, you can't get mad at the game for that. That's bad game plan. And I've been that way. I probably was that way on Friday a little bit from time to time. It is a contagious thing too. So once one person starts finding that there's some sort of bad something happening, it sort of happens to other people or can happen. So like if it happens to me, it could happen to Gray. It could bleed over to Gray or back and forth. But yeah, I'm enjoying having the Game Pass version of it and not really having to pay anything extra for now anyways. We talked about buying it on PlayStation 4, or 5. I want the Platinum, bro. That's why I'm buying the PS4 version. No, I really was going to get the 5 version, but the fact that it doesn't have a Platinum also sort of takes that whole concept of like having to play all the levels of everything and getting all of the trophies. And because like, why? If you're just going to get 100% of DLC, which is like 50 trophies, that's a lot for DLC trophies. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Are there codes for PowerWash? I don't know what you mean by codes. Like cheat codes? No. Like codes for free games? Probably. I certainly don't have any, but there is. Probably out there. And yeah, there's no cheats or anything that I'm aware of. There's probably mods on the PC version that you can download and install that might change the way things play or look, but I don't know. There may not be any mods. Not all games get mods, and some get nothing but mods. But yeah, there's no way to like cheat the game though that I'm aware of. The game cheats me by erasing my progress often. I'm stuck with the house with the chimney? What do you mean you're stuck? Like you don't know what to get? Or you're legit stuck in the chimney? I would quit and restart. You could always restart the level or start a different one, which will reset the progress of the other one. So as long as you can get out of the game and into the menu, you should be fine if you're stuck. If you just don't know what to do, a cheat, Brian, is if you come here, like if you look here, you can see all the items that need to be cleaned. And this one's 98%. I can actually click that one and it will start flashing wherever it is. Like right now, I don't want to go search all over and look for it, but you know, the items that are that would be left would be the ones that are flashing. It's like, you know, like this is flashing. You can tap right on the D-pad, which allows you to see the dirt. It basically makes that item flash like you're tapping it to give its, you know. So sometimes you gotta look. Sometimes they're pretty hard to find, but you should be able to target whatever is left and then find it by targeting, you know, by targeting it and looking for the flash. You'd always have like Chacho or somebody jump in too and try to help you find the last spot. See, like this one. I mean, it does seem like it does a pretty good job. Was that a howl? I swear I just heard a howl. A Thurston howl. Just sit right back and you hear a tale. Yeah, you'll have to pull up the menu here. You hit the start button or options button. You'll have to turn this on, Brian D, if you're trying to get Chacho into the room with you. You'll have to turn co-op on, and then you know, he can maybe find you on the list by the join a player, or you might invite him. It might be best to have each other on your friends list, and of course in a party so you can talk to. I don't know, is there voice chat in the game, or does it expect you to be in like a PlayStation party chat? I've always been in a PlayStation party chat. I've never tried without it, so let me see. I just messaged Gray on Discord too to see if he's okay. I know he had to work on Saturday, and then so maybe he didn't go to the party. Maybe he's just beat. But he's not even responding, which is super weird. Oh, there he is. There he is. Yeah, he hasn't responded yet, but he's reading. Oh, he's responding now. All right. All right. All right. All right. Gray says he's totally fine. He's just working late shift. So his hours are all wonked up. So I said, I thought you might have gone to one of those parties and might not have made it home safely. So he was talking about how he went the other night, and he had a good time, I'll tell you that. He was... you probably think that it gets boring all the way out here on my own, but that's not really the case. Hey, Bobby, are you still out there? I just wanted to thank you for not jinxing my team again yesterday. It's also kind of wild that everybody okay down there? I'll be right back. Friggin' Reese. Sounded like Drex was hurt or something. That was not the case. Drex was like passed out sitting on his little chair. By his window. Window. What's up, Noah? How goes it for you today? Just out of curiosity, has anybody in the chat pre-ordered Lego Horizons? I'm not asking if you have intentions of buying. I'm just curious if anyone's actually copped up money yet. And I promise I won't like berate you or shame you if you have. I'm just curious. I'm just wondering how many people are actually going to jump on it. It's my understanding it's like a $60 or $70 game, right? And it's still not clear if it's like a, you know, traditional Lego game. There's one creator that got it early, that played it a bunch, and said that it's a nice mix in between. How did he say it? A nice mix in between a classic Lego game and I think he said a classic Lego game and the main Horizon game. I think that's what he compared it to. So when he started saying classic Lego game, that made me start maybe eating my words a little bit. I'm wondering if there was going to be more of a traditional flow of the game while maybe the look is just very different, right? Because, I mean, it could just look different. I mean, Lego Movie looked very different, too. Or not Lego Movie, but Lego Ninjago Movie. That kind of had that bouncing around. I feel like it had that. It wasn't nearly as colorful and as alive as the new engine is, which, again, still does look like Star Wars Castaway to me. Like, the top down, the way it's presented, like, it very much looks like they used that engine and built on it. But I'm not pre-ordering anything after Funko. Yeah, well, I don't. That was an interesting experience. You know, definitely a lot of games, especially in today's realm, come out maybe a little unpolished, or maybe they think it's ready, but it's not. I mean, it's hard to say if they really are. Like, it's gone gold. So when the game goes gold, they feel like it's good enough to reach public eye. But I guess the expectation for what that means is different than it used to be, right? Because the game used to, think about like Nintendo games, right? Like the old Nintendo NES games. Like, they came on a cartridge. There was no updates. The game had to be finished and polished. If it was broken, the only thing they could do was fix the cartridge and start, you know what I mean? Like, they'd have to rebuild all, and that doesn't do anything for the people who already have the old cartridges, right? The game had to be done and bug-free. And a lot of games were that way for a long time, and now it's like, we'll just patch it. We got the internet. They're so used to it, they don't care. They'll buy the game and blah, blah, blah. I've said blah, blah, blah a lot today. I don't know where that's coming from, because nobody has said that. It's not any movies. I'm just blah, 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 blah. I'll get over it. Definitely pre-ordering Wolverine. Okay. Yeah, and you know, not to go into my big pre-order rant, but like, you know, games I think are often accepted to be broken like that, and if we stop pre-ordering them, that might put less pressure on the developers from the publishers to get the game out on time. Because if you got 100 million people that have pre-ordered, there's 100 million people that want that game and they want it now, right? They got to fulfill that need, that want. So they got to get that game out there. And most of the publishers don't care if it's broken or not. You've already spent money. You've already bought the game. So they're like, y'all can wait to get it fixed. Oh, they'll fix it. Don't worry. So I don't encourage pre-ordering at all. And I wasn't going to shame anybody for Horizon. We're only 2 weeks out. It's not like a pre-order today would really affect that too much. I mean, if we all went and smothered, you know, the stores with pre-orders, that would maybe change the momentum a little bit. But at this point, it's already gold. It's already coming out on the 14th with or without your money. So, yeah, you know, I just, you know, game, like even Funko, they're supposed to update the co-op. Like, the game was supposed to come out with co-op. Nah, we're going to delay that. And then they're like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to release co-op in chunks. So you're going to be able to co-op with, like, Jurassic World, but not the rest. Why not? How are you adding co-op to 5 levels out of the 42? That seems really weird. But again, you know, no hate on 1010 Games. I love them. I love Funko Fusion. I was happy even when it was ridiculously difficult, you know. And I am happy they've changed a lot of that stuff with the quality of life updates. But ultimately, like, I am not a big pre-order guy and wish more companies would be more prepared with their releases. However we get there, whether it's boycotting pre-orders, whether it's everybody pre-orders. I mean, however we get there, it doesn't matter as long as the games are better. You know what I mean? I've seen some videos and they said there's no stud meter, so no need to smash everything in the game anymore. Yeah, I wonder how. I still feel like it's gonna be. And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is if it is anything like the Apple Arcade game that I feel it looks and plays like. And again, I haven't seen it. I don't know. I haven't had my hands on it, so I really don't know. I've only seen short clips of videos. If it is, that game's like $5 a month for an Apple Arcade subscription. So basically, it's a free game on a $5 a month platform, and they're asking $70 or $60, $70. I don't know how much it is. It's full price though, so whatever a full price game is these days, I think it's $60, even though full price is $70. So I think I might be wrong on that full price labeling, but I haven't even looked. I just know people have been freaking out. I've also read that it's like an 8-hour story, 8 to 10 hour story, but I don't know. Depending on how it's worded, it's an 8 to 10 hour game. If it's an 8 to 10 hour platinum for $60, I am going to be very disappointed in everybody involved in that project. Because then we won't see other ones. Like, we could potentially see, like, Lego Uncharted. We could see Lego Crash Bandicoot. We could see, you know, Lego. There's a few, I guess Crash is a Xbox title, huh? There's more PlayStation properties that could be released, though. And, but, oh, boy, I just missed my jump. All right, maybe I just be on the ground for a minute. Deluxe is 70. The Shield Weaver outfit is tempting. See, and that's something that I have no... Like, I'm so glad I don't have that. Like, there is almost never a pre-order outfit that's worth upgrading for Deluxe. Now, if there's accessories or blueprints or things that actually help you in game for an upgraded, then I'm different with that. You know, if it's a pay to win or pay to succeed type of situation, as long as it's not a multiplayer, then I'm okay with that. I think those are the go-to. But like, the reality of it is, look at the people who pre-ordered on PC for Funko Fusion that were getting those exclusive Team Fortress 2 outfits that are now free on PlayStation. People who went and pre-ordered the exclusive Walking Dead characters. They're either free or $5. I don't remember which one it is, but like, it's got to be a little frustrating when those exclusives are really only limited time exclusives. Same with like certain games, right? Like, people buy consoles to play certain games. I bought an Xbox One so that I could play Titanfall. Straight up, I bought it so I could play Titanfall. I had no other real reasons to play it. Sunset Overdrive looked cool. That was a game that I want to return to. I bought it on launch, and I just struggled with the concept of it, I think, at first. And I think it was a little buggy when the game first came out, too. But later down the road, I remember Tyler P. telling me that was one of his favorite games on that generation of console. So, and it was worth me going back. I just never have. Sunset Overdrive looks like a really fun game. I think did that come out for PlayStation as well eventually? But like Titanfall eventually came out for PlayStation as well, too. So, I mean, some of those games are exclusive for now. You know, like Bethesda having all those rights on Xbox. I can't imagine they're going to exclusively develop all those games just on one platform. Like, we've already seen that Indiana Jones is going to be on PlayStation, right? I mean, that's a smart move. Like, you shouldn't limit your games to consoles. You shouldn't. But I get it, though. It drives console sales. But then the people like me who go spend the money get peeved when everything becomes available everywhere. Sunset is only on Xbox? I swear it came out on PlayStation. Must be thinking of a different game. regardless, you know, very minimal amounts of games these days that are exclusives like that stay exclusive. You know, we've even got like God of War and things coming to PC and stuff, right? Like, those were never supposed to or expected to be on anywhere other than PlayStation. But now you can play them on PC. %, getting up there. Gray, what is up? Dog's out there too. What is up? I believe Insomniac now owns the rights to Sunset Overdrive. Interesting. Isn't that who developed it though? I feel like they were the ones who wasn't it a weird partnership, like a previously PlayStation only group made a Xbox game? Isn't that how it worked? And what's up there, Sir Douglas? Good to see you, broski. Xbox owned it. Gotcha. But it never did come to PlayStation? Sunset Overdrive didn't? I don't know why I feel like I saw it or heard that it was coming or something. I feel like, because I remember thinking like, oh, now I'll play it because it's got trophies. I know Hi-Fi Rush. Didn't Hi-Fi Rush come over? Maybe that's what I was thinking. Different games in a lot of ways, but aesthetically almost kind of look the same. We've been having a debate, Gray, of which nozzle works the best. I know you've been lobbying, oh, this white one works good. It's so wide, but also thin. You know, and then we got like the green, which is a little bit thinner and a little bit harder hitter, but still just not quite the yellow, man. Yeah, and is the Dougie going to be around for like a quick voice chat after stream today? Roughly 5 o'clock your time, or is that too late? I could do like tomorrow morning or something too. I'd love to get in your ear for a minute though. I suppose the pace that you go at too really changes the amount of grime that comes off. But I mean, again, I think it's just like no matter which one you use, the job is going to take about the same time. It's just how you approach it. I swear, the more I play with them, the more I feel that that's the case. You know, Tyler was a huge advocate for the green nozzle. He was always like, oh, 85% of my stuff is green. Some is red because of the rust or the really heavy dirt, and sometimes I use yellow to get rid of some of that really heavy dirt stuff too. But green was his choice, and I know that like a couple of others have come in and said green. I use green all the way through. That's my one. I use green. So like I mean, everybody's got their own preference. Personally, you know, I use I have an actual real power washer, and I only have white, green, and red. I don't have a yellow one, so I typically use the green one when I'm doing like any kind of like debris cleaning or moss cleaning or, you know, dirt, anything like that. I'm always on green because red is way too fine, and it'll actually pierce through. Like if you're doing a deck, like wood, it'll pierce right through the wood, and it'll actually hurt the wood. Green, if you get too close, will do the same. But I ordered a set that had a yellow nozzle too, and I ended up not liking the yellow nozzle in real life. So in real life, I'm a green goer. I like the green. But in the scheme of the game, I think I've always just felt like yellow for the win. Did I get all of those? I think I did. I can't even get up there. There we go. Nope, I didn't. That's right, I fell. I was working on these and I fell to my doom. Oh, come on! Yeah, speaking of doom, I'm gonna have an exciting couple of months, like November, December, or November, January is gonna be awesome because I'm supposed to be getting all my Doom stuff. All of it was pre-order, and some of it was months ago. Like I want to say some of it I pre-ordered in like May, June, and some of it I just pre-ordered last month or early this month. I think it was October 3rd or something that it went live. But that 16-inch action or like figure collect, that thing is dope. I don't know if it'll ever come out of the box though. I'm gonna get it like specially encased or wrapped in something, and it's got a really cool display box too, so I'll feel okay about not pulling it out. Giggity. All right. Hey, green doesn't work. So, tomorrow, does tomorrow morning, like, noon, your time work? Just let me know on Discord when we can meet up. Like, you know, even if it's later in the evening or something, you know, I just want to holler at you for like, I mean, I say 5 minutes, but you know how that it can often lead to some other questions or whatever, right? So, but I definitely want to respect and honor the time, family time, and all that as well. So, but I got like probably 2 or 3 things that are real short, and then I'm like free running. More like fun playing. All right, so still got a bunch on this roof Roof. So we're 80%, and we're about halfway through stream here. We'll see how this goes. I may or may not start Shrek. We may just go or finish this and call it good when I'm done. I do want to let everybody know that as dumb as it may or may not be, we are going to an hour. I see what you're saying there. And that goes both ways. You know that. That goes both ways. I'm not the only one that extends conversations. I'm going to be checking this out on Halloween. I've got a bunch of these games. The new Spooky Town one came out. Again, this takes me back to my childhood, to, Highlights magazine, Where's Waldo kind of stuff. And it may be really fun. It may be dumb. It may be really easy, or maybe really difficult. I'm curious to see how it plays out. And if we like these, they may fill in a spot here and there, because I've got Berlin, Paris, New York. I've got a bunch of them. I got Berlin, London, New York, Paris, Rome, and Spooky Town. So, yeah. Let's see here. Almost time for break. We'll wait another minute or so. Noon works. Okay, cool. So I'll hit you up. Basically, I'll get stream ready tomorrow morning, and then I'll tell Bobby to leave me alone, because he always wants to be in chat at like 8 in the morning. And yeah, he likes to get all the I don't even know how to say it. Basically, the inappropriates. He likes to get all the inappropriates out early so that they don't pop up on stream, or so that they can be referenced on stream. One of the two. But yeah, I'll get stream all set up in the morning, and if I get it all done early, I'll hit you up and just see if you're available. But let's plan on noon your time, which should be 9 o'clock my time, right as I get the stream page up. What? So, hey, Brian, remember earlier when I tagged that piece and I was like, I'm not going to go look for it? Here it is. Here's that piece, Brian. So it's flashing because it's not done. And now it is. Now you can see on my list. Clean. All right, hey, guys, I'm going to go ahead and use this time to take a BRB. Dougie, if you're going to be back, sweet. See you when I get back. If not, see you later tomorrow, that is. And, guys, I'll be back in a hot second after draining the tank, grabbing a drink, and slapping Reese around a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go let Drex out, though. just as one suspected. Not gone debt, not gone work. I should have checked all this real quick before. I gotta make sure none of this is important here. It's amazing how many emails one gets these days. I remember back in the day, the email inbox would get like 5 or 10 emails a day at max. And you always felt important too, because like the way it was worded, it was like, you have just received, da, da, da. And you're like, yeah. Now it's like, everything is clickbait. You get 2-3 emails per account per day, and you probably have 50 different accounts. I mean, I'm seeing roughly 150 to 200 emails a day, probably. And some of them are things that I've actually shown interest in, and others are just like, whatever, probably sold my information to somebody and got it somewhere or something. But ooh, new shop. Had COVID. This is my second round getting it again. Dang, that's no good, Denise. I've been lucky with illness this year. I've had a sinus infection, only one, which is a little low for, if you guys know, I always have sinus stuff, and it's early yet. It's only October. But usually September, October, November, I get really bad sinus infections. And then, you know, when it's really cold, January, February, I get sick usually once a year during that time, a couple days usually. And then I'm back at it. And then March, April, I get the sinus stuff again when all the allergies come back. I'm hoping that's not the case this year, but it likely will be. You know, I had COVID for sure once. Was it once? I think I've only had it once. When it first happened in 2020, like that first month or two that we really didn't know, you know, people were getting, it was like just starting to happen. My whole family was so sick. Like, I don't think we've ever been that sick. And this was pre-COVID tests and stuff like that. So, we kind of always assume that that was our first bout with it, right? That was before any of the vaccinations or any of the, you know, preventative care that they have for it. And then since, I know we've at least tested positive at least once. But I mean, I feel like that's pretty low considering, you know, my wife is a teacher, you know, and my son is a student. He had been at a high school. Now he's at a college. So, I mean, he's still around, you know, hundreds of people every day, right? And I'm surprised that we haven't had more sickness. Insert head cold and sinus flu starting today. But yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you do feel better. Or are feeling better, hopefully. Let's look at it that way. So we only got 15% left, and a lot of it's roof, so I feel like it's going to go fairly quick. We'll have to see how it plays out time-wise. Because I certainly don't want to end up going long. I always feel weird about leaving a job half done, unless it's like a huge job, right? Like, if it's like a ginormica, then you can't get it done in 4 hours, right? But if it's like something that should be done in a couple hours, I always have weird feelings about not having it complete. I guess I should have just kind of cut it short a few minutes last week, and then I could have had the cottage to do. I just have no idea what the Shrek levels look like, how long they are, how much I have left. I know I have 3 levels left, or maybe just 2, actually. I can't remember if I did 1 or 2. I know I did the big area, and then I did the house. Was there a third area I did? Or was it just the 2? I know according to the little circular graph that they give us, a little meter, we're not even halfway done with it. So I feel like there's still 5-6 hours worth of, but we'll see. Get it done. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Knock on wood. Knock, knock, knock. We'll see. Yeah, hopefully I don't get sick. Jillian's been saying she's feeling sick, but she got a lot of stuff going on right now. She's at a funny age for body change, and one would say a little early, but Jillian's already had 3 bouts with shingles. And she's she's younger than I am. She's 5 years younger than I am. Her body, I think, thinks it's a little bit older than it is, and so that's not a good thing. So she's going through some change, I guess you might call it. But it's hard to tell. Is that just part of that? Are the aches and pains and stuff from that, or or is it your hot flashes from that, or like what are we? So, but hopefully she's not sick, and hopefully it's gonna be a short and quick experience for whatever's happening to her. Let's see here. Yeah, get well, Denise. That's right. Yeah, she's had them 3 times, which they're like when she came in and was like telling her like the research for the first time, they were like, "Nah, you're too young," and she's like, "No, I'm telling you," and they're like, "Oh, look at that, you were right." And the second time she got him, they're like, "No, you're too young, and it doesn't really happen that way. You don't usually get them that often." And they went in and they tested her and did all this stuff, and they're like, "Damn, you do." And then the third time, it was like, "No friggin' way. Are you serious? We're gonna have to start like documenting you as like a medical anomaly here." And historically too, her senior year in high school, she spent most of it in bed with mono. She was really sick. Early 17 and just into her 18th. Like I met her like days or weeks after she had recovered from her long bout with mono, and that's like right when we met, long time ago. Like that just doesn't even seem like this lifetime ago. It's crazy. Just told to go back to wearing her mask. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of a lot of reason to especially if you are sick too. I mean, I do feel like it's more of a suppressor, I mean, think of like a gun, a rifle, when it shoots, it's loud, bang, it has lots of force and energy that comes out the barrel, but you put a suppressor on it and it sort of diffuses that energy. And although there's still plenty of energy there still is things, releasing. There still is sound, that's audible. There's a ton of and like with velocity and momentum, like you look at the physics behind a suppressor versus a non-suppressed shot with the same gun, and it's like there's definitely but again, like a suppressor isn't going to make it silent, it's not going to fix everything, but there's a lot of good reason to use a suppressor. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I've always looked at that. It's that time of year again where, I mean, historically, there's definitely groups of people that have always felt this way long before we ever were told to, or, had a bunch of, testing or whatever, science, however you want to call it, whatever you want to look at it. And I know not everybody believes the same, and I'm not trying to force any agenda or anything, but I mean, like I said, I mean, that's the way I had it explained to me that made sense. It's not a complete fix. I mean, a lot of things are like 98 or 99%, but not 100% or less, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that are trusted that are 99% or 99.999% even in some cases, but there's still room for error or, you know, anomaly or the inevitable. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to say it, right? But yeah, I mean, we, you know, historically when we are sick around the house, like right now, my mother-in-law actually has a little bit of a sore throat. I don't think she has any other symptoms, but she's got a little bit of a cough and a sore throat, and so I guess she does have another symptom, coughing. But you know, she's been wearing a mask when she's exposed herself around the house, and she's been very minimal about her contact, and I think that's the biggest thing. It's just minimal contact and washing up, using hand sanitizers or soaps to, you know, it's all that season again. We're all gonna get sick, whether it's the big C or, well, I guess that's not the way to say it because that's a different C. That whether it's the COVID or like, you know, the flu is out there too. Like, it's all sickness. Nobody wants it. I didn't mean to fall. I tend to get sick for like one good sickness, like probably a year. I mean, it does happen more than that sometimes, but I've been unbelievably lucky with, you know, health in that regard. Like, I just, you know, and some may say it's some practice of how I take care of myself, but I mean, I'm not a runner. I'm not a workaholic. I don't, you know, I'm some would say lazy in some ways, right? Like I enjoy a good chill session over a good workout session, but you know, we do row and do other things that stay active, but um, I've just been like unbelievably lucky with health. But I'm also doomed with genetics, from IBS to Parkinson's to other neurological stuff. I've got a lot of bad stuff all around me. And besides, and even a little of my grandpa on my dad's side, you know, a lot of heart stuff too. Like a lot of heart stuff. Like a lot. But, you know, so far I've been pretty lucky. My mom was a freak about what I was able to eat and intake. Like, you know, I used to love like sugars and sweet and lows and things. She would never let me touch any kind of artificial sugars. I never was allowed to do like diet sodas or anything. If there was only one option of soda, which I never chose diet as my option, but if there was only one option of soda, I would have drank diet over milk or something, right? But I was never allowed to drink any of that stuff, and I don't know if that has anything to do with my stuff, the way I'm built, or my immunities, or if that would have helped me by adding that. You know, I have no idea. No idea. I've just been like, and hopefully tomorrow I don't find out terrible news or don't get really sick. Like, not trying to jinx myself here, like Bobby jinxed my Blazers on Friday. Yeah, I haven't let that go yet. Haven't let that go yet, bro. But, you know, yeah. Oh yeah, when I was younger, I actually had I had chicken pox, and then not too long after that, I got something similar, and I have no idea. Like we've I think we've talked about this and even looked up and guessed a little bit before, but I had some sort of like a skin. I don't know if I'd call it a disease or an infection or a virus. I don't know what it's really classified as, but it wasn't contagious, so probably not a virus because viruses are usually contractible, right? Like infections are usually, I think 50-50 can be, but also are usually caused by just like lack of care. So I don't know. Anyways, I had to go to 3 different doctors to assess what I had because at first they thought it was chickenpox and then I'd already had it and they're like, oh well, that's not gonna be it. You only get chickenpox once. But it had something to do with I can't remember. It's like, it was like a form of rosacea or however you say it. Um, but it was like, it was pretty gnarly. Like my arms and leg, only one of my legs, and it was really just the top, like not even my shin. It was more of like my thigh. I had a bunch of these like red blistery marks, um, and shoot, that was one of the last times. And I haven't had anything really beyond just like common cold or my back issues, but my back was caused by a car accident. That wasn't something I inherited or ended up with via choice of, stuff. That was unfortunate car accident. Let's see here. Getting to the squirrely stuff here. 94%. So it's mostly on the other side. You can see the edges of the sun flares flashing. I think I got them all with these. Okay, cool. Oh, there's some on the back side of the moon there. See you on the dark side of the moon. Not really gotten sick. Or adult. Yeah. Yep. I know. That's why I've definitely got some nerve stuff for sure. What it'll end up being like or how the next 10 years will be, I don't know. It's funny too, because I think about the irony of how things work. Like, I mean, just as a terrible example, but a real example, like, a lot of us for a lot of our lifetime had Christopher Reeves as Superman, right? That he was the iconic character Superman, and then the stuff that happens to him in real life, it's like impossible to fathom or think that, right? Like, but you think of how the irony of that is, and many other situations too, and so I'm convinced that at some point in the near future I'm gonna lose like control of my thumbs because of the irony of happy thumbs, right? Like, I'm not suggesting anything other than like coincidental irony, if you will, but like, I'm happy thumbs, right? Oh, happy thumbs. Oh, he's got good. They're gonna break, right? They're gonna be sad thumbs. They're gonna be unusable thumbs, like, and just because of the name, right? That's just kind of the irony of how, life can work sometimes. I hope that's not the case, because I don't get a lot of crap from Reese. I told you should have keyboard and moused it. You'd still have your thumbs, bro. Nerve test. How do they do that? What is consisted of a nerve test? Do you know? Is it like poking? Is it just a scan? Is it blood work? Do they like take cameras and put them places? Like, how do they do the nerve stuff? Because I'm likely gonna have to prepare myself, and you got to remember too, guys. Like, okay, and I'm not asking for any advice or any kind of statements here, but other than going to the doctor for my back, I haven't really been to a doctor for stuff in a long time. Like it's been a long time since I haven't broken a bone. I haven't had any stitches. I haven't had any. There's no surgeries. I've had no aches and pains beyond my chronic back stuff, and I've had a couple of things that like could have probably been looked at, but were gone 3-4 days later. So like, it would have just been. I look at doctor visits as like necessity. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff is preventative these days too, which is not a bad thing. But I've sort of lived and done well so far with the if it ain't broke, don't fix it. right? Like I'm sure that if I went in, they could find something, right? I'm sure I got high cholesterol or something, right? Like, but I mean, ultimately, I you know, I know I've got some things to work on, but I don't necessarily need a test to tell me, and I'm not struggling with anything at this point. And I'm the first to go, like, you know, I had an issue a couple weeks ago. I think I mentioned it to you guys. Like, I called it my moment where, you know, I may have, for a minute, I was thinking I might have been having some sort of like a potential heart issue. And, you know, before I jumped on an ambulance and got the bill for it, before I even knew what was finding out it was something that was not relevant for, I kind of waited a second or two because I wasn't like, you know, I was still coherent, like all the things that they tell you to do if you need an ambulance, like I wasn't there yet. And so like, but I was definitely majorly uncomfortable, you know, and I told Reese, I said, you know, if I go down or if I'm not coherent, you know, you make the call, but like, as long as I'm here and I'm telling you I'm fine, like I'm fine. Because he was on there with the phone, like, all right, what's going on? What are we doing? How, you know, and he was concerned because, like, you know, he's never seen his dad really have that happen. But, you know, with my digestive tract and my history, like that's happened a couple of times before. So once it started kicking in, I was like, this is my stomach. This isn't, although it's causing other things that may overlap, this is not that. And that's exactly what it ended up being. I won't go into detail, but I was very gassy after that moment of panic. Very gassy. But I mean, I haven't been, so I'm terrified of blood draws, terrified of machinery. I'm very claustrophobic. You know, so I don't like the idea of any of that, but I understand that that's in my best interest. Like, I'm not going to sit here and let myself suffer and die when I know I could get help if I need help, right? But like, I haven't been in a long time, you know, and I should probably go and do a few things that they recommend at my old age of 46 years old. But again, it ain't broke. At least I don't think it is. So yes, that's yeah. We know next time. You know, and I don't know if I've ever told the story. One of the first times that happened was probably, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And it actually started with a painless migraine. I don't know if you guys know what painless migraines are, but basically it's a visual complication versus a physical. So whenever the synapses or whatever is happening, you see light flashes or, you know, strobing versus getting the pain of the migraine. I don't know if they're physically caused by the same stuff or neurologically connected or how that works, but they call them painless migraines. And my grandfather used to have them all the time. And it was one of my first ones that I had. And it was the weirdest thing, you guys. I was sitting here and I was watching TV, right? We've got a 55-inch TV like 4 feet from where I'm sitting right here. And I had my feet kicked back and I was sitting there and I was watching and like we were watching some action movie or something. There's a big chase scene. And like as it's happening, I'm kind of in my back of my head, I'm like going, man, those lights are annoying. And there was like a flashing, like to me, it was like a blue and red, like a police light flashing. And then after the scene sort of slowed down, I kind of blinked it off and it was still there. And I was like, whoa. And then what's freaky about them is when you close your eyes and it's still happening. Like when you're spinning or anything, usually when you close your eyes, although there is other feels that happen, usually you can escape from, but when you close your eyes and it's still flashing, that was scary to me. I didn't realize what was really happening. And so I went into like this panic and my stomach ensued and I went and tried to take a cold shower because I was overheating. And long story short, I ended up collapsing in the shower and like I didn't pass out, but like I couldn't stand anymore. I like collapsed and my wife was like, "That's it, I'm calling." And I was like, "Call an advice nurse. Don't call 911. I'm not. I'm still awake. I'm here. I'm not. I'm in pain. I just, because I didn't want to go in an ambulance. I'll be honest. I did not want to go in an ambulance, and so she called an advice nurse, and she was like explaining after she got through, yeah, hey, my husband's and blah blah blah. He's just basically collapsed, and they were like, you should probably call. And right as they were about to tell me to call 911, I let quite the foghorn sound, and like the lady was like, oh my, like, oh, I feel so much better. Like, it was definitely like, oh my gosh. And so that's kind of how I just know that happens when certain foods get intook, and unfortunately, I guess I'd eaten something that had caused that. So beyond those like 2 or 3 moments, I really have. I mean, knock on wood, knock on whatever. I've been on a pretty decent streak. I also don't do anything. I eat pretty healthy. I haven't eaten like at McDonald's or Burger King for a long time. I do Taco Bell like maybe once a year. We do eat some other fast foods. We like to think of them as a little better prepared, a little more, less filler ingredient, I guess you could say. We eat Panera often. Chick-fil-A from time to time. Not really anymore. Now that we have them here, we're kind of we've basically had them enough to not be like, oh, it's Chick-fil-A, right? Like, because we didn't have them here. That was like a new entity. I haven't had In-N-Out, and shoot, it's probably been at least a year since I've had In-N-Out. I honestly can't even remember the last time I had it. And like I said, we eat pretty good. My wife makes pretty healthy stuff. Last night she made her pork and veggies again, and like these veggies have just like a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, and like some fresh chopped seasons. It's like I think she's got like thyme and rosemary and like I don't know what else, but she puts it all in and just bakes it on, and it's so good. Like, they're like French fries, but they're not, but they're healthy. They're like absolutely delicious, and we've been eating a lot more stuff like that. So I keep just trying to, be on the healthy side, because I mean I drink my brews, my alcoholic beverages, but I mean I'm pretty healthy. I haven't had like a Monster Energy. I've only had like a sip of a Monster in my whole life. I know that's hard to believe. Whenever I needed caffeine or anything, I always went with like the Starbucks or something of that nature. The mochaccino or the frappuccinos that they have. Those you can buy bottles of. But I mean, I stay away from a lot of that stuff just because a lot of it comes from like what I was saying earlier. My mom wouldn't let me have none of them like alternative or fake sugars, as she called them, and so I have like a taste for it. Like I actually despise like some of the different flavorings they use. I'm not even a big fan of stevia. Like stevia is, I know, like fairly natural, but like it's still just not. I don't like it. It tastes weird to me. All right, we're about done with this. Surprised I haven't. Oh my gosh. Oh hey. So hey, Kirsten, are you still out there, or Gerg? One of the two. I'm feeling like Gerg probably bounced a while ago. Maybe not. Either one of you. What was the experience of solo like? Did that ever get reported? If it did, I'm sorry I missed it. BK so much, but I used to like that way too. Like the fries at McDonald's were always my preference as far as fries, but I mean, like, overall I always like the chicken sandwiches and everything better from Burger King as well. I like a Big Mac, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's literally been, I think Reese was 6 years old when we stopped taking him there, And I mean, he's going to be 20 in a couple months. So, I mean, it's likely been 14-ish, 15-ish years since I've eaten at a McDonald's. Not bragging, just saying. Like, it's been that long. We just pass it by all the time. It's not an option for us. And then it wasn't too much longer after that we decided the same about Burger King and KFC. Like, every 5 years or so, we'll try KFC again. But I get sick every time we eat there. And I'm pretty sure it has to do with, like, they have their 11 spices in their, mix or whatever. And I'm pretty sure one of them is onions. And onions kills me. So that's probably the case there. But, yeah, we just don't really do fast food that often. We eat out. But, I mean, we get a lot of, like, there's a quesadilla bar that some of you have actually experienced with us. And although it's across town, we eat there, enough to consider that a regular place for us. We every once in a while have a Dairy Queen cheeseburger and cheese curds. But, I mean, that's probably the most standard, fast food that we eat. And it's not very often. Not very often at all. Haven't had Wendy's in forever. Wendy's always seems to give me stomach aches, too. Like, because of my stomach aches, we often don't eat there. Like, Reese and Jillian like that and would eat that, but... Alright, I found some spots here. I have not played, so I just didn't know if Gerg had reported or if you maybe watched or anything. Because I know sometimes you guys like share play or whatever. Gosh. It's like, I didn't know if it was like a... If it's sort of like the multiplayer where you die quickly and then you can respawn, or how that trophy will work with re-enlisting 3 times. I just didn't know if there was anything discovered. And he might know, but... Yeah, we ordered, it was so funny. I think I told you guys, we ordered Chinese food the other day after a long, like, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? We ordered Chinese food and like, our place that we go to historically is literally right. It's like a block past the quesadilla bar, which is on the other side of town, as I already mentioned. It's quite a ways out there, and it's not a long drive, but it's probably a 15-minute drive or 20-minute drive when there's 300 places to eat between us and there. And so we were talking about food, and I was like, hey, I wouldn't be against like some Szechuan chicken. And, lately, in the last year or so, I've been way more adventurous in trying different types of things. Like, I've always been like a set it and forget it kind of guy. Like, whenever we go to Lum Yen's or the Chinese restaurant, I'd always get Szechuan chicken, hands down, every time. Medium hot, yep, fried rice, and a barbecue pork. That's my jam. Every time we go there, I get it. And it's same with like Taco Bell. Whenever we went to Taco Bell, I'd always get the same thing every time. Now, that rotated every once in a while, but I mean, I was consistently getting the same things. So I offered, I was like, hey, rather than drive all the way out there, why don't we go to this other place? Your mom and her friends just went there like a couple weeks ago, and she said it was really good, and let's try it. And the wife was like, I'm not really interested in trying something new right now. I'm really hungry. We've just spent half an hour trying to figure out where we're going to eat. We've got it isolated of what we want. Let's just get what we want. I was like, fair enough. I'm on board. Let's do it. And so we ordered, and as soon as she gets in the car with the food, we drove out there. She ran in to get it. And as soon as she gets in with the food, I go, it smells different. And she goes, smells spicy. I go, yeah. She goes, it's sometimes spicy, even though we always get medium. Sometimes it's spicier than other times. I go, yeah, but it smells different. And so she assured me that everything was fine. And my sniffer is not to be trusted. I smell weird things all the time. Like, I can always detect smells, but sometimes my brain doesn't register them properly. again, neurological thing. My mom has a similar thing. She's actually really struggles with any kind of smoke. I don't seem to have that same intolerance for smoke, but it does affect the way things smell. And like, I'll get certain smells like stuck. So like, my wife will make tomato soup out of fresh tomatoes from our garden, and for like 2 or 3 days, that's like all I smell. Like somehow there's like a layer of that smell stuck inside my sinuses or something. Weird stuff like that. And but anyways, we got home and we opened it up, and immediately we both looked at each other and went, this isn't what we ordered. And come to find out, it was their Szechuan chicken, but they had changed their recipe. So we had this big discussion about not trying something new, going with something very safe and predictable, and they changed the stupid recipe on us. Like, how stupid is that? So we were pretty bummed about that. It ended up being okay. The problem with it was it was like, you know, their Szechuan is traditionally kind of spicy, but a sweet spicy, and it was that, but there was like they'd added pineapple juice to it, and unfortunately, pineapple is one of my kryptonites. Onions and pineapples are like the two things that hurt me the most. They're also two of the things that I love the most. I mean, I grew up on like Hawaiian, you know, burgers, Hawaiian chicken sandwiches, Hawaiian, you know, everything had teriyaki and pineapple on it. We used to have like these meatballs, these Costco meatballs, and they'd get that. My parents would get the Yoshida's Hawaiian sweet and sour, whatever the crap it's called, sauce. And I mean, we would make those meatballs by the hundreds. And you know, when especially when like right before I got kicked out, you know, when Tyler was like, you know, 3 years old, like he was old enough to eat food, solid foods, like we were eating those meatballs like they were going out of style. And in fact, I think they did. I don't think you can get them anymore. You might be able to get the Yoshidas. I think Yoshida's sauce is still around. But they had like a meatball that I swear came like in a package. You just needed to throw it into a like a crock pot or, you know, something to warm them up. And then they threw in the Yoshida sauce to go with it. Oh, that was so good. Oh, I'm getting messages. What the crap is this? So Reese has got a plan for his costume for Halloween, and he ordered a part the other day, and it was not working very well. Now, due to the help of his Meemaw, they got it sorted today. But it was like kind of a laughable problem. In fact, I even have a picture of him trying to wear this vest that was clearly too small for him. And what? That's what I thought. And anyways, he got his mask today, and he's got his vest on because he was able to have it modified. And we weren't sure if we were going to send it back or how it was going to work. Like, we knew he had to figure out a solution, and he was running out of days to do it. But he just sent me a picture of him in like this really tough, like scary. It's a Call of Duty ghost is who it is. I don't know if you know who that character is on Call of Duty, but he's got like a particular mask that he wears, and so him and his friend are both going as ghosts, and another one of their friends is throwing a big costume party, so they're going to the party. They're not trick-or-treating or anything. At least that's my understanding. They're not. And so he got it, and he sent me this like real serious, really like, you know, like, look at me, I'm so tough, and my vest works, and da-da-da. And he's all proud. And I sent him back the worst like ghost gif ever. It's like you know, what's his name? The angry orange or whatever, the pissed off orange. What's his name? I think it's just angry orange. It's basically like a ghost version of that with like stupid face. He hasn't even responded to me. He's probably like, why did I even show him? Why did I even show him? Oh, wait a minute. Staircase wall. Are you serious right now? You for cereal? Alright, so there's got to be like one spot that I did not get. Aha! Can I get a ding? Thank you. You guys seeing anything? Got to be down low. Although I still have at least 4 items. It's got to be somewhere down low. Oh. Hmm. Aha. Hmm. So it's got to be like roof related. I mean, I guess it could be like the armpits of the roof. I got those. Nothing. Wait a minute. Was that? Yep. There's something right in there. Aha. House wall. See, I'm like looking at the meters and like nothing is popping up on the meter. Like often you can catch like a, oh, there's a spot in that direction or something. Oh, like right there. So the frame. Aha. Oh, hello. Okay, okay. So some funny angle stuff. Go staring back at me. It's doing. Hey, what up, Ben? Ooh, what's for lunch? You have 6 hours left. Good news. I'm streaming that whole time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, appreciate you spending your lunch with us, bro. Hopefully, you got something delicious to munch up while you're watching. I don't know what we're having tonight for dinner. We had her pork and veggies, as I already mentioned, for dinner last night. It was quite delightful. I could have that almost every night. I like, you know, I'm pretty consistent these days. Like, I don't know what's changed, but I mean, I could pretty much eat the things that I like, especially the things that I know that are good for me. I could have those like almost every night, if not every night. You know, especially if we had like weekly rotations or something. Like I could do a week straight of chicken Caesar salad for dinner every night. Or I could do a week straight of just salads every night, even if it's like taco salad, Caesar salad, Santa Fe salad, summer salad. You know, like I could do a lot of that stuff over and over and over again. Wife and child, not so much. You know, I'm, like I said, I'm pretty easy to set it and forget it. Like, I have no problem, especially if I know, like, I've been on this, like, food is fuel thing for the last year or two, where it's like, I know I love this food. Donuts are my favorite, but donuts make my stomach hurt. They make me really gassy. Uh, they make other things, you know, turbulent. Um, just all in all, donuts are not good for me as much as I like them. So I've been staying away from the donuts. Although we did just go to Krispy Kreme. But that's the first time in a while. We haven't been there in a long time. All right, so I'm just about to the point of the stream where I'll like look and see what I'm missing. But I want to make one more pass up top here. We got nothing but time to kill anyways. We're either really early or really late, depending on how you look at things. I'm just not seeing anything. I mean, maybe something like right here. Maybe this is... But I mean, the house is good. It's all good. I want hamburger or fried chicken now. I made you hungry. Num 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 num. Hey, Ben's the one that's on lunch. I just elaborated on the food. I did not bring up the food. I wasn't... Okay, maybe we were talking about food before. We've been talking about food for the last hour and a half, Brian. What are you talking about? All right, I'm busted. I'm busted. No! So where do you think it is, guys? I mean, I've literally been, like, everywhere, low and high. And I just don't see nada. 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 Something was up there. Okay, okay. Need to get on. Oh, hey there. Should probably just move this versus trying to do some... Guess I can just parkour onto the roof and then... Oof, dead. Wouldn't that suck? All of a sudden there's fall damage and I die. Game over. I have to start over. So it's probably just more of these windows. Guessing it's these guys. No. That one's good. There's something over there. Ooh. See? Where I just saw some on that window right there. Really? And where else? Ooh. There was something over on the hat or by that direction. Stool's good. Stool's good. Stool's good. Cauldron's good. There's something over there. The lantern on the roof. Ugh. Splat. Okay. Come on. Like, seriously. What about that? Oh, that's good. I feel like there's some frames or something here. Those frames seem, but none of them are pinging anything. It's all done. The well is good. I wonder if there's like a something we can open or something. Okay, it looks like Shrek's. Chimney good, stem's good, walls good. Jack-o'-lantern's good. Well, I mean, I'm kind of stumped here, y'all, but that's, like I said, not a... I'm telling you, there's got to be like a door or something I can open, or for a needle in a haystack. Yeah, I know. I'm like 99+%. And I know I could totally cheat and go and look, which makes things way easier. But I mean, this is a little more fun, I think. I'll find it. I've found everything else so far. It's got to be something with this, huh? No. Oh, there's something else over here. There it was. What is it? Oh, yeah. So, pumpkin shed door handle. Is that the pumpkin shed? Really? I didn't get the door. House eaves ×2. Is that the eaves up there? That's the ridge. Eaves are like... I just saw Eve, but I don't think I saw any... I feel like I've looked at all the eaves, y'all. Rear turret window. That's the turret, right? Front turret window. Let's go look at that. Prettier. Front turret window. Rear turret window. Okay. So it's got to be one on the far end that I can't see. Huh. Ah, I see it. And then house eaves. Dormer roof chimney. eaves are usually like there. It's considered a roof. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Dormer. Roof. House Eve. So that's good. It's house pillar. So that's not the one. Aha. There's like 0 flashy poo. Alright. That one is not it though, right? Nope. That's entrance eve, so that would be pretty specific. Mm. Where the crap is this last one, man? Alright, where at? That's what I thought. That one took a while. Restart job. Psych. So you can see here, there's no clean icon, but like if I go here, 0%. We already did that. Santa's Workshop, 0%. Already did that. Why are they resetting them? I don't understand. Shrek. The next one is Shrek Swamp. It's actually quite large. I mean, it's not huge, but I mean, let's just take a quick peek at it. I might just pull it here, just not knowing what the other levels look like. I don't want to have like an hour-long stream next week. I'd rather have it be long than it be short, if that makes sense. I mean, at first glance, it looks like most of it is fairly easy to hit. I feel like it's short. Did I get the trophy for this one? Your helmet airtight. You might want to keep that on. The air around here gets pretty beefy. Yeah, those gloves too. So I still have Swamp, Godmother's Potion Fairy Job, and the Dragon's Lair. I have not seen these two, so I have no idea if they're big or small. That'll do, donkey. Let's see here. Instead, also, Brian, what? Looking for a needle. Oh, yeah. They are big. Well, I'm just wondering how much time is left. Shrek Swamp, clean the outhouse door and outhouse handle first. Can at least do that, I guess. Outer walls. No, we want the outhouse handle. Oops. Right? Isn't that what it said? Oh, you have to do inside the house? So it's big then. So I'm just wondering, because I got an hour left. I don't want to go over today. I don't want to split it in half. Outhouse door and handle. Okay. Come on. So. Oh, yeah, I don't want to get. Don't want to get the post. I have to get the inside of the door too. Is that what you were saying? Is that what you meant, Chacho? Or is there, can you go inside the house too? Somebody once told me there's something. I don't know the words to the song. Oh, I thought I was gonna actually fall down in there. That's somewhere you do not want to be. You can go inside the house. Oh yeah. Well, this is gonna take forever then. Definitely longer than an hour. I say, I guess I'll do the inside. We'll do the inside of the house and we'll save the swampy stuff for next weeky poo. I don't like splitting them like this, but I'll do it. And Chacho, if I don't have enough time next week, it's all your fault. No. I have nobody to blame but myself for listening to Chacho. No, I'm just kidding about that, dude. Say, you gonna ring off there, buddy? Is that cherry? Kind of looks like it's the wrong color, but it looks like cherry. The design of it. You guys remember cherry? This is a pretty crazy design. I did watch the original Shrek movie in the background the other day, last week before I played this. I didn't really focus on a lot of it though, as I was working on other things. So I should go back and look at the detail on all this, like the books on the wall and the shelves. I feel like they're giving Shrek a lot of organizational skills here that he may or may not have had in the movie. Yeah, do we have like an anti-like campaign going on right now or something? Chacha does make a good point. Likes seem a little bit low for how many people are in here. I'm not saying you haven't clicked the like button, but it kind of seems like you have. YouTube could be messing with us too. It often tells me there's 7 people in here when there's 20 or whatever, and various blah blah blahs. I'd say it one more time, right? That was intentional. Boy, that's some cheeky spots behind the chair there. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's cheeky. I mean, I can't even really get there. Can I like flip the chair out or anything? That's kind of messed up. Hopefully the wall is forgiving. Because that's messed up. There's a lot behind that chair that I can't even get to. This has such a more intense sound to it. I wonder if I can sneak this in there. That one's shooting over. Now 2 of them are shooting over. Come on. That one sounds so like natural water flowing, like a river. That one sounds like forced. Almost like boiling water. Hey, what up, Phantom? We got the spooky house finished up, so we're in Shrek spooky house now. Be funny if like Donkey came and poked in and looked inside the window. What are you doing in my swamp? a weird tapestry here. Yeah, different speeds definitely provide different results as far as, you know, tips go. Just trying to open and type the message box. Oh no, you get hidden and then unhidden. It's a quick game of peekaboo. Kirsten's just keeping it interesting, guys. Making sure you're paying attention. We've rehearsed this. It's like a fire drill. Normally Raised is the one that's timing people out and doing stuff to see if you're awake. But today, Kirsten was randomly selected by a... No, I'm just kidding. Everything's all good. We don't need any more of my help, right? Or any of my help. You never had any of mine today, but... Wasn't me. Stream ain't over yet, Chacho. Whoa. So I wonder if they'll ever do like more Shrek or more SpongeBob, or if they'll just keep bringing new properties in. I don't dislike the abundance. Like, I didn't know much about the 40K Warhammer. I didn't know a ton. I mean, I recognize some of the stuff from Tomb Raider, but I'm not a giant Tomb Raider fan these days. Like, back in the day, I thought it was a cool game, even though I was playing SOCOM for the most part. I did play some Tomb Raider, and I don't know, like, I like the series and everything, but, you know, I'm just curious to see what they'll bring next, or if they'll repeat anything, you know? Like, well, we already have the license for SpongeBob, so why don't we do more stuff? Or, you know, they've kind of covered the hot spots of it. And same with Shrek, like they've done the couple of famous movie moments, like the swamp and the, what's the name of the town? Duloc. And so, I mean, again, I'm open to whatever. It'd be kind of cool if they did like a Lego collab. Where you're spraying a bunch of bricks, like some of the more famous, more noticeable. You know, you could do like the Ultimate Collector's Edition Millennium Falcon. You could do like, you know, some of the bigger sets. You could do the, what would be cool too is if you could have like, some of the big sets have variant builds that you can do. So like there's the excavator, the big silver excavator that can be built as Johnny 5 from Short Circuit. So it'd be cool to have, like, you know, a couple different versions of one set or whatever. I mean, I don't think they're looking for ideas, but I got some if they are. So that should cover most of that from the outside. I don't expect to get all of that stuff from the inside, but there's definitely some hard to reach spots. Did I ever get this mask? No, okay. I guess it's a puffer fish of sorts or something, huh? I'll say that might ring off, huh? Nice, shooting the chair and get the spot back there. Hey, all right. I'm really curious to see how the hidden cats in Spooky Town goes. Like, not so much how popular or fun it'll be, but just how difficult or easy, right? Like, I'm really curious to see if we're going to be able to find them all. Like, oh, there's 100, real easy, 5 minutes, we're done. You know, I think there's 1,000 cats hidden in the game. You know, and we'll probably get like, oh, there's one. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's one. You know, like, it'll probably happen fairly fast. But at the same time, there's probably going to be a couple that are like, you know, really hard to find. I feel like I've always been good at those kinds of things. Like, what's the difference between these photos? You know, like, I feel like I've been fairly observant when it comes to those things. Like, you know, writing and things are not necessarily my strengths, but like visual comparisons and like abnormalities, oddities, changes. I feel like all of those things are things that my brain thrives on. Dealing with Nom also probably should be added to that list. Pretty good at that. getting quiet in the chat. 28%. So this is the insides. Yeah, I was gonna say the outside looked like it was fairly quick work. We'll find out though next week when I finish it up. But I saw, yeah, I was gonna say some stuff way up here too. Stand up. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Little Bob Marley in the Shrek swamp. Totally makes sense, right? And they do kind of sort of overlap in a way. Shrek just wants his privacy. Wants his right to be alone in the swamp. Wants to be feared by everybody, so they'll leave him alone. Shrek and I connect on that level quite a lot in certain regards. And there's certain people I like to interact with. Certain times I like to be involved. Other times, not so much. I hate those unexpected run-ins at the store. Like, you know, you're like not put together, just like sweatpants and whatever. And you're like, all right, quick run, got to go grab some butter or something, right? Just easy in and out. And then you run into somebody you haven't seen in 20 years. Oh, hey! Yeah, I don't normally dress or look like this. You know. Reminds me of an episode of the IT Crowd. There's like this whole joke. It's hilarious how they spin it, too. Basically, he runs into an old friend he hasn't seen in a while. And when he sees him, he's holding some stuff for his local window man. And, you know, he's an IT guy who thinks he's pretty smart and everything. And he runs into this old chum, and the chum's like a big software engineer, pioneer, you know, doing very well for himself. Has a pretty girl on his side and, you know, got a nice car and doing well. And meanwhile, he's got this window washing gear, which is nothing bad to say about windows, but he's embarrassed by the fact that he thinks that his friend thinks that he's a window washer, not an IT guy. And there's this whole bit, and at the end, they end up having like this whole joke about how he's like, hey, no, I'm really an IT guy. And the guy's like, oh, that's great. We actually have some problems with our computers. And he's like, cool, well, you can hire me because I'm smart. I'm your IT guy. I'm your guy. And he goes, can you work with Mac? And he's like, nope, only Windows. So after all this time about him being not a window cleaner, turns out he can only work on Windows software, which was an absolute brilliant joke how they wrote that and delivered that in the end. But this whole thing about I'm not a window cleaner. I do more. I'm an IT guy. I'm not a window cleaner. Oh, really? You can do Windows? Or you can do Mac? Nope. Sorry, just Windows. Yeah, I really wish that show had more run than it did. I mean, 4 seasons is pretty decent, right? I mean, quite a few episodes, but it was just so ahead of its time in so many ways. You know, just really witty. But also, you know, there's probably some of those jokes that are maybe a little frowned upon in today's climate or expectation. It's starting to change back, though. People are starting to get less and less, you know, caring about things, which, you know, is good in some aspects and great in other aspects, you know, but also kind of not great in some, too. All right. I think we've got it clean from the inside. Oh, no, we got some. Still the floor up here, too. All right, now I'm feeling pretty confident that we're basically at the end here. Can't really get the funny angles from this side, but kind of. Oh, hey. 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 Well, that looks like it, y'all. Looks like I got this inside clean. I'm ready for the three blind mice to come and ruin my night. Right? That's technically what happens as it starts, anyways. All right. Well, good. We got all cleaned up on the inside and looking all like a glitter bomb took off on the outside here. But we'll go ahead and call it good, y'all. So next week we should have a full stream, which we're only a little short today. And I'm feeling confident about that next week. We also have Starship Troopers tomorrow. And then we've got A Quiet Place, which I can remember today, on Wednesday, which I hope to get through the remainder of the first playthrough. And I mean, there's a lot left. There's a lot more stuff happening. And so far, the first hour was seemingly freaky, but then once like the microphone got turned on and stuff, it got way crazy. So definitely excited about that. And then Friday is kind of up in the air. A possibility that we might play Apex as the season is winding down, and I'd like to try to get some, Battle Pass tiers done and all of that. But I don't think I even bought the Battle Pass this season because of the way they did the split. Maybe they did. Maybe I did. I can't remember. But anyways, likely going to play Apex, but could be Black Ops again. It just depends on who is available and what we decide as a group to play. I think Gray will lean towards Black Ops just because he wants to get his money's worth out of the Game Pass. But also he might want to play Apex because it's been a couple of weeks. So and then there's always a possibility that Nam may be available to play and be our trio too. So we'll have to wait and see. But hey guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Much love. Hopefully we got that ad stuff sorted for now. We'll try it again on tomorrow's stream to see how it goes. And if I need to customize all of them to be at 12 minutes and that helps the majority, great. If it's worser at 12 minutes, we'll go back to letting YouTube decide and see if it levels out or whatever. But I appreciate all your feedback and also understanding that that is, in fact, how I continue to stream. So if we didn't have any ads and the memberships are broken, then I would have to find a different way to utilize my time. So hopefully we can find a middle point where it works for everybody. And yeah, feeling pretty good about that possibility. So with your feedback and continued changes as we make them as we go, we'll find something. But guys, thank you so much for hanging. You guys know the drill. If you have not already, please check out HappyThumbsGaming.com. We also got HTG merch. That guide for Funko Fusion should be done soon. Doug and I are going to have a final talk about it tomorrow, and it should start getting updated again, as there is tons of information. We just need to get it there. But guys, that's going to do it for me. As always, until next time.